What's up, guys, and welcome to Movie Emporium's Flashback Reviews, where we take movies from our past, break them down, and tell you what we think about it. As always, if you like what you see, remember to rate, subscribe, check out the YouTube channel, Facebook and Twitter, email nlapola113@gmail.com if you have any questions. So, you're wondering why you're getting this on a Thursday. It is usually post on Monday. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you know in the titles, you know where I'm going with this. So we have Avengers Endgame coming out on April 26th. It's the culmination of all the movies that have come out for the past 10 years. Yeah, Avengers Infinity War was kind of a culmination of that, but this is like the legit end of this story of, the original Avengers. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start with Iron Man. I'm going to go all the way to Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, however you want to look at it. And I'm going to review each movie in my flashback review series. What that means is you're going to get two movies or two reviews a week, one on Monday, one on Thursday. We're going to do each movie one by one up till we get to Avengers Endgame. Now, when Captain Marvel comes out, that'll be one of the reviews. It'll be out of order of the actual series itself. But what we'll get is Captain Marvel on that Friday or Thursday or whenever I get to see it. But we're going to go ahead and start from the very beginning in 2008. And that is for the original movie of Iron Man. This movie, of course, is directed by Jon Faverau. It brings into the fold Robert Downey Jr., who had a crazy, weird past of drug abuse issues and, promiscuous activity. He was like on the mend. He was just, everything had gone down for him. He was given this role. Jon Favreau was brought in to direct. It was being produced by Kevin Feige, who had this idea of making a shared universe, but it wasn't really known how it was going to work out. So they cast Robert Downey Jr., they bring him in, they make a movie. The movie comes out, has the teaser for Avengers, and everything is history from there. We get what is now one of the most famous, one of the most incredible pieces of filmology in history, and that is the MCU. So Iron Man's basic story, and I know everybody's seen it, so I'm not going to get too in depth of it, is Robert Downey Jr. plays Tony Stark. He is a philanthropist. He doesn't really care about the fact that he sells weapons to terrorists. He's just, he's a playboy billionaire, and he likes to create stuff. His, Pepper Potts, who's played by Gwyneth Paltrow, is his right hand woman. She kind of runs the day to day of Stark Industries, and Tony Stark is kind of like the Steve Jobs in a way, without the the actual running of the business. And so he's sent over to a Middle East country to sell these weapons called the Jericho. And the Jericho is this weapon that is super powerful, super destructive, super just chaotic. And in the process, he is kidnapped, he is tortured, he is told he needs to make his own Jericho project. He gets shrapnel in his heart, and it basically he is placed into this magnet on his chest to keep the stuff from killing him. And he creates the first Iron Man armor. And basically, the story is the origins of Iron Man, the origins of Tony Stark becoming who he eventually becomes. And, he creates the armor for Iron Man. He starts doing his Iron Man thing. And then you have Jeff Bridges, who's playing Obadiah Stane. And beneath the surface, Obadiah Stane, even though he's like the kind of the person in charge of Stark Industries, why Tony doesn't really want to deal with it, he is a war profiteer. He worries about the company. He's worried that Tony Stark is going to ruin it. But they secretly trading underneath the table to these terrorists called the, I think it's like the 10 Stone or something like that. I'm sorry, I apologize. Can't remember the actual name of it. And you come to find out that he's the warmonger. He's the bad guy of this movie. And so, and we have Jon Favreau's character, who is the chauffeur style character who plays a lot into the series as a whole with, Spider-Man and so on and so forth. And then Iron Man forms and he does his thing, and he eventually defeats the warmonger. And Tony Stark reveals that he's Iron Man, which completely blows up everything in the MCU. From here on out, Tony Stark is the guy that's going to lead the charge for the Avengers. And so this movie was kind of a revelation for everyone when it came out because it was so unique and so just baffling that something of this nature could happen. Yeah, we got all our comic book movies before. We got our Spider-Mans and our X-Men's and our Batmans and our Supermans. But nothing like this has been done before, and nothing probably will be done like this ever again to this extent. Yeah, you had your DC doing what they did. You had Transformers try to do that garbage and so on and so forth. But the fact that we're 10, 11 years later and Iron Man is like a classic example of something done right is impressive. And I'm going to be honest with you, I like Iron Man. I think it's a fun movie. It's not my favorite. It's definitely better than Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. But I think because of Captain America Winter Soldier, I think this movie is lessened a lot. But Jon Favreau's depth in filmmaking, his the fact that they gave him a chance to do something like this, and it shows what Marvel has done later on with like Taika Waititi and the Russo brothers. It's just an impressive feat what Jon Favreau was able to pull out of a movie like this. And the casting of Robert Downey Jr. is amazing. Gwyneth Paltrow is amazing. Jon Favreau casting himself as like that guy is awesome. It's a movie that moves and is perfect. And Terrence Howard's in this movie, which would eventually go to Don Cheadle's character. They switched roles because Terrence Howard wanted more money or some crap. But just the look and the feel of this movie, that what it says in the future, the fact this movie is actually quite simple for $100 million movie compared to like what Avengers eventually became is impressive, and just everything behind how this movie rotates and how it evolves and how it just the gears grind. The fact that you see how Tony Stark evolves his Iron Man armor in this movie, and the fact you see him start changing heart and everything. You see, there's this guy named Yensid that he befriends in the caves, and just it just shows you that Marvel characters can be kind of taken seriously, because this is also the same year that Dark Knight came out. And the 1-2 punch of the Dark Knight and Iron Man really set a motion to the fact that these movies are going to be important. They can be taken seriously, and they can have great storytelling. And it's incredible how this story has evolved in the later run. But this is really an important movie for the pantheon of film, for better or worse, because there are some worse elements, but it's definitely worth your time if you've never seen the movie. I don't know how you haven't, but like I said, Robert Downey Jr. is great as Iron Man. Tony Stark, Gwyneth Paltrow is great as Pepper Potts. Jeff Bridges is fantastic as the main villain. Like I said, it's not my favorite movie of the MCU, but it's still up there, and it's definitely worth a look and worth a watch if you haven't watched it. So there you go. That's gonna be my take on Iron Man. Once again, the first movie in the 21-22 movie flashback review I'm going to be doing. So, but as always, if you like what you see, remember to rate, subscribe, check out the YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. Email enlapola1138@gmail.com if you have any questions. Let me know what your favorite part of Iron Man is. I know you've seen it, so tell me in the comments below. Like I said, at the very end of this video, I'll post kind of the schedule of what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be a very long run, but you're going to get 2 movies a week, like I said before. But otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video.